All right. Is Christian Eriksen irreplaceable for Spurs? January transfer window. Flav's here with me. This is the appetizer before the One for the Weekend podcast. She's going, yeah.
We've not started?
No, that's after this. We're going to do a little bit of transfer chat to get them going, get them salivating for a One for the Weekend podcast action. If you haven't checked that out, go check it out. Christian Eriksen, vital, crucial to Spurs.
I understand what's going on.
Little 10-minute video, Flav.
Yeah. No, I understand what's going
Stay
on.
with me.
Now.
Stay with me.
What's
You're fine.
Confused.
You're fine.
Yeah.
Christian Eriksen.
Yes.
Real Madrid are keen on him. Barcelona were keen on him. 100 million.
Were they swooping?
They're ready to swoop. It's been mooted,
it?
according to sources, that they're ready to swoop in
and open their war chest.
Open their war chest with a £100 million bid.
Yes.
Yeah. The interim manager has been given a £2 billion war chest.
Yes. So what's the question?
So the question is, Eriksen's deal runs out on 2020, 18 months. So they haven't got loads of time. 1, how important is he? 2, can you replace him? 3, apparently, here's another one for you. Spurs have slapped a £225 million price tag.
There you go.
Which means he comes into training.
Yeah.
You, here.
He's got to carry it around wherever he goes.
Yeah. You wear that everywhere.
Well,
just in case. Is he irreplaceable? So
yes.
I listened to a few podcasts and I thought that's quite an interesting question because he's, since August 2016, he's created more chances than any other player. That's more than Hazard, De Bruyne, Ozil, David Silva. And he kind of goes under the radar still, doesn't he?
Yeah, because while he creates, his style of play isn't as impactful. It is impactful, but on the eye, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Hazard gets the ball, he's running, he's jinking, and he scores amazing goals. Salah, it has the Liverpool media hype machine behind him, and obviously he has
he's
the
good,
whole
isn't he?
Egyptian
He's got
nation.
stats as well to back it up.
And he is good.
Yeah.
Eriksen's style of play is kind of his distribution and quick passing. When he gets the ball, he actually slows down. So weirdly, isn't that exciting to watch, but he's so impactful. So I guess that's why he goes under the radar. But how under the radar are you when Barcelona and Real Madrid are talking about buying you? So it's one of those things. Is he replaceable? No, we'd have to change our system. There's no one we can go out and buy to do the job he does.
Because I was reading this article about it.
Within our power to bring in.
Well, that's it. Okay, so there's two ways you can look at it. You lose him, and it could go. Did it? In hindsight, the Bale move and then the way the money was spent, that's seen as an utter failure, right?
No, because
some of them kind of came back and did okay, right?
Eriksen
was one of those.
Eriksen was one of them.
Lamella was one of those, right?
So yeah, we've got 2 out of 7, which is probably the hit rate for most transfers.
Yeah. Liverpool with Philippe Coutinho, that was a similar kind of player, I guess. A guy who created chances, scored goals.
His role in the team is similar, but different players. Yeah.
Yeah, but they've gone and got Van Dijk and Alisson with that money.
Yeah, much better spending.
So is there any argument to be had to go, yeah, all right, I'll take your 200 million for Eriksen?
200 million? Yeah, there is an argument, but...
Would you do that if you're Daniel Levy?
225 million.
It's a lot, innit?
Probably. You could pretty much
plug those gaps, couldn't you?
You think. But then you have to trust that it's not about the money. You have to trust in the scouting network, which hasn't been incredible at Spurs, and our ability to spot the right players.
Hasn't been incredible.
Hasn't really. Like, you spend £30 million on Sissoko, and it's taken him 2.5 years to settle.
Right, yeah. Or Pochettino.
Has he settled, though?
Figure it out, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't accept £30 million for Sissoko currently. That's how good he's been recently. But Eriksen poses a different problem, and that price, 225 million, will go down rapidly the closer he gets to the end of his contract. Spurs are in a weird situation with Eriksen in that they have to sell to get his full value this summer, and we don't want to do that. He's got to sign a new contract. He's on 70k a week at the moment, which isn't a lot, respectively to these other players around him.
Yeah,
we can afford to pay him more. We're offering him more. Reportedly, I don't know who said it, but £250,000 a week, which
Football 365.
Yeah, doesn't seem likely.
The Daily Star.
Yeah, doesn't seem likely at Spurs at all, which makes him the top paid player. He is incredible. He's not replaceable. We would have to change the way we play, or bring in a player and adapt what we're doing to get the strengths out of that player. He's incredible. He was terrible against Chelsea the other night. It was awful. He was our worst player, but
that's because his His mind's
Is
on
his
other
head
things.
gone?
His mind's on the move.
Is it?
Like Louis Saha was the same thing.
But I can't see the Real Madrid move because they're not spending money. They don't have a manager in place. I can't see that happening.
Because they want him to replace Modric, it seems. That would be the swap.
That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, Modric and Eriksen are completely different players. He can play deep line, but I suppose in a Real Madrid side you could get away with his complete inability.
You'd have to tweak it a bit.
He has zero defensive attributes.
Really?
Yeah, terrible. Like, you know when when he's closing down an opposing attacker, you know the attacker's going around him, gets around him every time. The best thing he does is just take up the correct position, but he doesn't impact it really. So I can't see.
Because a lot of people do that. A lot of people compare him to Modric. I think probably because it's easy. Because it's like because he's played for Spurs and Real Madrid and Barcelona want him now.
Yeah.
When you look at how good Modric was and you look at how good Eriksen has been, is he at that level? And so, yeah, is he at that level? First question.
Yeah, probably. They're comparable. But Modric did it in a much lesser Spurs team under lesser managers. Eriksen is doing it under the best team that we've had since winning the league in '61. So
the question off that is, it's got to be kind of exciting if you can keep a hold of him.
Well, that's the one thing we've been good at, is keeping our players. Buying them, however, is tricky.
Yeah.
And what's Levy's what's his motivation here? Because if he gets 225 million, he's going to put all that back into transfer. Probably not. We've never done that. Pochettino will probably end up adapting Oliver Skip into a number 10.
Do you know what I think the big thing is that the comments from Pochettino that he's gone, I see myself finishing my career here. He's quite good at releasing the valve of like the pressure that's starting to come on and like, oh Man United going to take him. He's quite quick to like, because that is a very clear statement that like, okay, I'm not, well for me anyway, that he's not going anywhere in the summer. And I think that leads to contract negotiations going a lot better. Because if Pochettino's not going to be around in the summer, then Eriksen would be like, then he would want to go, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
More so than most other clubs. The manager is such an integral part of those players signing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, of course. And Pochettino talks all the time about loyalty, all the time. For him to then just up sticks and join Man United, it doesn't strike. And everything he said would be nonsense, which is not uncommon in football.
Yeah, but would be heartbreaking.
But it would be heartbreaking and be confusing.
Yeah, it'd be heartbreaking.
It'd be confusing. It'd be like Dad leaving.
You'd be heartbreaking.
Yeah, I would. Although I'd move quickly on to Nuno at Wolves.
That's how you want.
Yeah, that's the next
Don't want Gary Rowett then?
Yeah, what's happened to him?
We'll talk about that in the One for the Weekend podcast. Okay, how will it end? Prediction?
It will end with Eriksen joining Real Madrid or Barcelona in 18 months.
In 18 months?
Well, no, or thing. I don't know.
Okay, Christian Eriksen, is he irreplaceable for Spurs, for this Spurs side, or would you take the money and then invest it on players like Sissoko and Soldado?
Well,
let us know.
Sissoko's been fine, so bad example.
Bad. Poor end to the video.
Chadley.
Yeah. He's it right. He's at Monaco, isn't he?
Chadders.
Anyway, I'm waffling on. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you're feeling generous. Check out the One for the Weekend podcast. Subscribe to Ball Street. And we'll see you in a sec.